So last weekend, myself and my girlfriend, we sat down and watched Pitch Perfect 3 because it was the only Pitch Perfect movie we hadn't seen, which then led to me watching Pitch Perfect 1, which then followed up with Pitch Perfect 2. So within the last week, I have seen all three Pitch Perfect movies, which means it also is the perfect time to rank them all. And one quick thing before I do get started with this whole ranking. If you are new to my channel, make sure you click that subscribe button so you can see rankings, movie reviews, and I talk about The Walking Dead every single week. So if you're interested in all that kind of stuff, do click that subscribe button. Anyways, with all that said, let's go on to number 3. And coming in at last place, I do have Pitch Perfect 2. This sequel, going into this whole movie ranking or movie or watching them all, I thought Pitch Perfect 2 would have been probably my second favourite, and Pitch Perfect 3 is going to be my least favourite. But then watching Pitch Perfect 2, about halfway through, I realised this was the worst movie just because it doesn't try anything new. At the start of the movie, they do the scenario that kind of they're really good, they're one of the most famous bands at the moment, like they're literally playing for the president, and then they do something, they drop the ball and they hit the ground so hard, and then they have to go through everything they went through in the first movie to become who they were by the end of the first movie. And I hate when sequels do that. I hate when instead of continuing the story, they kind of just knock our characters back to where they were at the start of the first movie, and then they have to grow through everything they've gone through again in the first movie. And one of the main things that really stuck out to me was kind of bringing back the characters of, say, Adam Devine's character, who I liked in the first movie. In this movie, I kind of thought his character was really sad, and I did not enjoy his character whatsoever. So I think if they left him not coming back in the second movie, his character would have been a great character in the first movie as well. Look at Elizabeth Banks, and I don't actually know the guy's name, but their characters, I thought they were really, really funny in the first one. The second movie, they fell really flat. Another person who I thought was really funny in the first one was Rebel Wilson. And I think I've seen probably 5 Rebel Wilson movies in the past couple of days, and she's only funny in the first one. I think in the second one, she's not funny at all. She tries to do all her kind of same jokes, but none of them really land. And in talks that same jokes, as I was watching it as well, I realized every single character has one character trait, and they kind of run with that. You've got the girl who's crazy about sex. You've got the Spanish woman who thinks she's going to be deported at any moment. You've got the quiet girl who's ridiculously quiet. And as well, Anna Kendrick, I enjoy her character within these movies, but this is probably the movie where she's the most stale, and she doesn't really have anything new to add to the story. She does all her mashups, which she thinks are absolutely hilarious, which don't really land for me. You got the cameo of David Cross that when he did come in, I was like, okay, that's a great little cameo, just because David Cross I think is great in almost everything, which is good. And you got Keegan Michael Key playing a pretty big asshole, which was not really expected in this franchise. And coming in at number 2, I do have Pitch Perfect 3. Now, Pitch Perfect 3 and Pitch Perfect 2, I think the line between these two are so very, very small. The whole storyline with Fat Amy, I'm not really a massive fan of. The fact that she's now some kind of badass who can do fight scenes. The fact that it does kind of turn into a bit of an action comedy, which I don't understand why they thought Pitch Perfect would be a good kind of action comedy, because it clearly did not work for them. But all the scenes with her and her father just don't really work for me. The whole ending I thought was extremely predictable, with everyone coming on stage singing together. None of the comedy really landed for me, and I wasn't a fan of how all the kind of relationships that were formed up in 1 and 2 were kind of just brushed away in a small conversation. I don't know if the actors didn't want to return, or if they couldn't figure out a way of how to put our character, or bring our characters back and put them into the situation, because there's a lot of it just didn't really make sense to me. I wasn't really a very big fan of this movie, but the only reason I think I'd put it above 2 is because they tried something new. In 2, it's very much kind of a carbon copy of 1, where this movie they tried to do something new, and I will always rather watch a movie that has tried to do something new rather than a movie that's just kind of copied what the first one did. And probably as expected, coming in number 1, I do have Pitch Perfect. I just thought this movie, out of all of them, was the freshest out of them all. Even though I had seen Pitch Perfect 3, and I think I watched The Hustle before watching this, I still think, and I didn't like Rebel Wilson's comedy within those movies, but in this movie I just thought it was completely fresh, and I don't understand why I went back. I thought her comedy was so brilliant in this movie. It's the only movie her comedy works for me. I'm not really a massive fan of Rebel Wilson, so her comedy hit me really well. This movie kind of shows really well as well. Her and Anna Kendrick, this is their career making movies, and it is a really good career making movie. So both of them are really good in this movie. Anna Kendrick's relationship with, I can't know the actor's name, I think his name is Skylar Austin, something like that. But the relationship that is building between the two of them in this movie is extremely believable, and I enjoyed actually seeing how it played out. The comedy as well, I laughed out loud a few times with this movie, which didn't happen in the other two movies. The music as well is just the best it is in this entire franchise. The music in the second one I didn't really like. It was very generic. In the third one they tried different music, but not really enough different music. But in this movie, the music was all fresh because it was the first one, so it felt very new. Everything about it felt new. The characters all felt, they felt like they were coming into their own, rather than in the second one just kind of recapping what they did in the within the first one. And in the third one, they didn't know what to do with them, so they kind of just threw them all over the place. So I thought their introduction to their characters in this movie was really good. And I love as well how ridiculous the concept of this movie is and how ridiculous it actually is played out. And I love how they know it is ridiculous, so they just go into it. And all their kind of catchphrases of using Aka before, it's like saying Aka bitch or Aka ridiculous. I love how the idea of using words like that. And I just thought it was all really good. As well, Elizabeth Bank, and I still don't know the guy's name, but the two of them, didn't like him in the second one. Third one, I felt it was a bit forced, but in this movie, it's by far the best use of those two characters. And I think they were actually hilarious in this movie. Every time they came on screen and they're back and forth, I kind of thought it'd be really, really funny. That's my ranking of all 3 Pitch Perfect movies. Let me know your ranking in the comments down below. Click that subscribe button so you can come back next time I do a movie review or ranking. So if you want to see all that kind of stuff, I do that on a kind of daily to weekly basis. So if you want to see all that, click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.